Hey y'all, I just got done making a video, and it's the video you're about to watch, but I figured I better come back and tell you all these things before you start so that you are aware. I didn't tell you in the video. You can see it, but I didn't tell you. So in this video, you're going to have to remove the end cap off of these assemblies, and the cap torque screw is 45 inch-pounds. I'm sorry, the torque on the cap screw is 45 inch-pounds. And the torque on the little ground cone on the inside, the little pointy metal piece you'll see in a little while that stabs into the side of the aluminum housing, is actually 3 inch-pounds. I didn't want to not tell you that in case you want to do it. I don't actually follow that, but I should, but I don't. I just wanted to put that out there for other people who do want to follow the right rules. But anyways, I'm trying to think if there was anything else in this video that I don't want you to forget. There's one section at the very end where you're going to be pulling some wires, and just watch the whole video. Watch the next step before you do each step. Everything should be good. I think you'll be fine to follow the video as is, but there's one section where I kind of tell you what to do, and then I kind of go back and say, oh yeah, don't cut the wires off too short. So just kind of watch the next step and then, rewind back to that. You should be good, and that's towards the end of the video as well, towards the end of the actual installation. But this video is about some Trojan UV 3000. What was the numbers on these things? Crap, I don't even remember. Anyways, it's the UV system that's made by Trojan Technologies here at the wastewater treatment plant that we use for Colquitt. And it's actually, what I'm doing in this video is I was supposed to be just replacing just the ballast, but I ended up having to go through, and this one, it was a good video for you guys to see. I ended up having to do a complete ballast replacement, a new board replacement, and new sockets. So it pretty much rebuilt the whole entire thing. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Without further ado, let's get started. And I'm glad it's over for me, but at least I have this video for myself in the future when I become 80 and senile, or something like that, and to help you guys out for now. So here we go. What's going on, everybody? Today in this video, I think I'm gonna do things a little bit different. I don't know if everybody even knows what I do for a living, but I work at a wastewater treatment plant here in southwest Georgia, in a little town called Colquitt. And I kind of thought, I've pretty much put my hands on everything out here, and there's a lot of people who probably are like me, who fly solo, who might want a little bit of advice or help doing some of the things that I do. And today, one of the things that I have to do is something I've never done before. Well, I'm sorry, let me take that back. I did 2 yesterday so that I know I could do this video today to help you guys out. But let me show you what I'm working with here. This is an aqua aerobics facility that built our plant, and it's an SBR, so sequence batch reactors. Ignore the dogs, we have a dog pen down here. But we have at the effluent side of our wastewater plant, for getting the bacteria out and all, we actually have underwater tanning bed. Basically, it's UV lights. It's made by a company called Trojan. Yeah, it's got to work. But anyways, I had to go in and I had to pull the UV lights out, and I had to change the bulbs like I've done before. And I need to actually show you, when I get ready to put them back in, a little trick that I designed to do that as well, and I may do that in another video. But this time, as I pulled them out, I had a couple of them that the actual ballast were messed up on, and the little sockets that the light bulbs actually plugged into. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see. So this is what these UV lights look like, these banks. These are the ones that are good. I've already put new bulbs and everything in it. This is what the basin looks like right here. These those lights that you see, they actually drop down in these little slots on the top, right up here. And they drop down in, so as the water runs through, it comes out, it goes this way, spills over in there, and it goes out of like a little cascading waterfall right here that goes out to the creek. So again, what I ran into this time when I was changing out these bulbs on some of them, there's these little they're just like any other fluorescent light bulb, but like I said, these are like tannin light bulbs. There's these little black sockets right here. Let's see if I can zoom in so you can see. Right there's these little black sockets, and on 3 of these actual whole assemblies like this, some of these had burnt. Some water had gotten inside there and messed up the ballast and burned up the sockets. So I'm having to make a video now, or I'm going to make a video on how to easily take this assembly apart so that you don't have to call Aqua or whatever else. You'll just kind of know what to expect and how to replace not only the ballast but all 4 of those sockets as well. So that's what this video is going to be about. Go back in there. I've actually got them in my office, so it may be a little scrunched up looking, and I'll do the best I can to explain each step as I go. And maybe this video will help some people out there. This is an older facility, so this may be of no help to anybody, but I would assume they probably haven't changed much in terms of the way that they do their UV system. So I'm thinking that at least it'll be a start to kind of help you on, you know, whatever comes up. So again, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to make this video and kind of compile all these together, and maybe this will help somebody out. And maybe in the future I'll start doing more videos like this as I work on different things down here. Maybe that'll help out. I just thought there's really not that many people who show you everyday actions in an actual wastewater plant, and I'm just flying solo here, so I have to learn little tricks and things like that to do things on my own. Me and my handy little crane truck that I have here, we can knock out some stuff, some things that like it takes 2 or 3 people to do. So all right, but come back to you in a moment. All right, so we're back in the office now. May have somebody pop in here in a moment. That's gonna probably mess up my video making, but see how I need to turn this camera. But this is what we're looking at here. You can see this is one of the banks. I've got all the bulbs taken out. This is what I was saying. If you look and see here, these sockets are just burn up and just basically just fall into pieces. So what we're going to be doing is replacing those with some of the new ones, and they look like this. Basically, they just push into a piece of metal, and they've got 2 wires coming off of each one. And we're going to be replacing those, and we're also going to be replacing the ballast. Let me put this back in the box here. We're going to be replacing the ballast. This is the ballast that are currently in there. This is some I had already taken out from yesterday. And we're going to be replacing them with these new ones that are in the box up under here. So, but I'm going to show you what to do. Basically, we're going to get started by taking this nut off and letting all this fall down, and then we're going to take these 4 bolts off right here on both sides. We're not going to worry about this little Allen wrench bolt right here. And you're going to do the same thing to the other side. You see those 4 bolts right there? You'll want to take all 4 of those off and remove this, and I'll just show you what's up under there as we go. Alright, before we get too far in this video, let me go ahead and just tell you a list of tools you're going to need that's going to make this job easier. For sure, if you can get you a 3/8 drive impact tool, that's going to help out. You're going to need a little small extension and an 8mm socket. You're also going to need a 7/16 socket, which is probably was a metric, but this standard's been working perfectly fine for me. You're going to need you a pair of channel locks. You're going to need a 1/4 inch wrench, open end wrench, an 11mm wrench, open end wrench. You're going to need a pair of wire strippers, a tiny screwdriver. I like this little Phillips head one. It's working out pretty good. I'll show you that in a little while. It's just to help you release the wires out of the connections. A regular flathead screwdriver for prying on. You're going to need a snap ring pliers. You're going to need to have some little bit of knowledge of soldering. So some electrical tape, flux, solder, heat shrink. You may not need the heat shrink. You may be okay without that. And a little small torch if you want to do it like me, or if you want to use a soldering iron, you can. And this is just if you want to use it or not. They have the wires numbered and marked. I marked the first set that I did with the same numbers they had, but as I went on, I just started putting colored marks like 1, 2, 3, or 4 on the little wire. So you'll need a marker if you want to do that, or you'll need a wire marker book if you want to go back factory. But again, I'm gonna make this video for you guys. Hopefully this will help you out, and this will help me out in the future as I age and get senile. So I'll come back and watch my own video. But there's your list of tools. So like I said before, let's start off by here on the ends. This is when you're going to want to use this 8mm socket, and you're basically just going to be, well, you can go ahead and take that off if you want. It doesn't matter because it fits through that hole, but I usually take this off by hand, and then you'll just be taking these 4 out. Let's just work on this side first, and I'll show you what's under there, then we'll move to the other side. So I've taken the nut off the end. This is the grommet that was in it. Just let everything slide down the line. And I forgot to tell you, you're going to need 2 ballasts. There's 2 inside of here and 4 of these sockets. So just so you know, that's the material you're going to need on top of the tools that you have. But again, I'm just taking this out. Probably recommend wearing some gloves, and I usually do, but I don't know if I can do this and wear gloves and operate my phone at the same time. So just going to have to be patient with me. I apologize. Alright, so I got the 4 bolts out. This is going to be a little more hard to show you guys, or a little more difficult, but take this off, just let it slide down. You're not going to need that piece right now. And now you'll notice you see these 4 places where the screws were in. Well, what this is like a metal block with like a rubber O-ring around it. So the best thing you can do at this moment, I've learned, is you just take you like one of the screws and put back in, just say the bottom right hole, and then take you another one of the screws and put them in the top left hole. You can do all 4 if you'd like. It's up to you. If you don't want to, matter of fact, it may be better so that you can keep up. I can't do this with gloves. Give me a moment. I'm sorry. This is the worst thing ever to try to do and hold a camera, but just be patient with me. Alright, so the thing is these are stuck in there pretty good. So you can kind of bump on it, you know, bump back and forth on the actual piece itself to kind of free it up like that. You see it falling down in there, and now you got to get it out of there. So you just grab a hold of your screw, wiggle on that one, grab a hold of your screw, wiggle on that one, just kind of keep playing with it till you get it out of there. It's just a solid flat plate. You can take that black piece there, that's just the piece that presses on the gasket. You can drop it out of the way, it's no problem. Wiggle it out of there until boom, there it goes, and that's what you have right there. So you can actually just let this piece just drop. You're good. Leave the screws in there if you want. Just don't lose your other screws. And Lord Jesus, you can see all the stuff that has gotten inside of this one. So no wonder this one shorted out, huh? Obviously, water got into the frame of it. But anyways, while we're at it, let's go ahead and go to the other side, because the next step that we're going to have to do, see if I can zoom in without getting my phone disgusting, is this little piece here. If you'll look at it, well, look, the ballast and everything's mounted on this black piece, and this actually slides out of the whole unit so that you can service these things. They have a jam nut right there that's actually holding a ground screw on this side. You're going to have to loosen that jam nut and run it up this way, and then you're going to take this piece. I don't know if it can focus in or not. I'd like for you to see what it looks like. Yeah, you see how it's got that sharp point? It's basically just screwed outward and stabbing into the aluminum. That's what keeps this whole assembly in place, and there's one on the other end as well. So we're going to go ahead and move to the other side, and then I'll show you how to get that out of there. And let's just take care of that. Look at these gloves. Delicious. Alright, again, so here we are at the other side. Take your 8mm socket, put it on, take them out, keep up with them. I'm trying to do this. I wanted you to see me doing it, but I think that's maybe a mistake. Just make sure you keep up with all your bolts. Drop them up here. Same thing here. It's never good when you hear ratcheting like that. It usually means something was put in crooked. But same thing. This side's a bit easier. Just keep all that together. Your same plate, same thing that was on the other end. And here you go. You see this looks familiar. You can maybe even get away without even having to use those screws. Kind of, because this one actually goes in a lot further. It's actually a pain in the butt to put in. So you can actually knock this assembly in further, like that, kind of loosen it up, beat around on a little bit. It's just aluminum. Kind of free it up. Take your black piece that fell off the square. And by the way, these things are tapered. You'll see there's a taper on it. You want the tapered end to go towards the gasket when you put all this back together. So I'm going to have to do the old trick with the screws because it's not coming out. So screw one screw down in there. Grab you another screw. Screw it into the other side. Y'all should try this with holding the phone. It's a blast. Give it a little tug. Give it a little tug. And voila, it's coming out of there. You see how thin this is compared to that gap? It actually stops right in here. So when you get ready to put this together, you actually have to keep it from going in too far, which is kind of annoying. But there you have it. And you see now we are looking at the same setup as we had on the other side. And now we're going to work on taking that loose. So I guess we can work on this side first since we're already here. Let me grab my wrenches here. Just a moment. So we're looking at... this is your 11 millimeter tine, and you're going to reach in here, and this is already tightened up against that side there, so you actually want to loosen it. So we're going to be taking this side and pushing it upwards to loosen it, and then running on up the stem with your finger. It's just a jam nut basically. Now take a 1/4 inch, same thing, you're going to want to take it and turn it towards you on this end to get it to let go of the wall. See how it's doing? And then once you get it a certain amount, you can reach your finger in there and just turn it by hand. Like that. And look, no longer stabbing the wall. So you're good on this side, and you go do the same exact thing over here on the other side. So let's do it together. Wasn't too bad one-handed. I'll tell you what, this is when a GoPro comes in handy for sure. This side, you got your kind of got your wires all in the way, so just kind of push them out the way here. And this side, you're going to be pulling it down towards you so that you can free up that nut. Spin it on up the shaft like that. Come back in with your 1/4 inch. Same thing, you're going to take it and go upwards with it to get it off the wall. And once you do this and you get all this done, you can actually take your finger, hold on to it, and you can start to pull the whole assembly out towards you. See how that's coming out? See that tray? And here you go. All the muck is coming out with it too. The only thing I can call that is muck. I mean, look at this. Disgusting. I'm going to take my foot on this and see if I can hold it so that I can pull it out so you guys can see. There we go. I mean, this even had a rock in it. It's disgusting. So I don't know if this board's even going to be any good, y'all. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to proceed with this one because of the condition of it. It actually compromised the board itself, which is definitely not something that happened on any of the other units. So I guess we can go ahead and go through with the process of changing the ballast out, and I can then kind of guide you through what you would do on the board. You really don't do anything though. You just route your wires through your board. There's these little transformers right there, and your wires actually circulate and go through the transformers, and they connect up, you know, here on these terminal strips. So again, let me just I tell you what, let's see, we're gonna be replacing the ballast anyways. So hang on a minute, let me do this. I gotta get my hands back. The whole assembly's top heavy on this end, so I've got to go up there and readjust, and I'll come right back. So yeah, that sound that I heard was a capacitor that fell off the board. So this board is definitely going to be shot. So we're going to have to order a new board through Trojan. And there's the desiccant. There's usually a bag of desiccant that hangs out in there with it, and it fell out on the ground as well. But that's okay. We're not going to stress it. I'm going to walk you through, you know, this is the same process no matter what. So I'm going to walk you through that so that you know what to do still. Let me grab my paper towel because my hands are quite nasty. Alright, so this is going to be where your little tiny screwdriver I was telling you about is going to come into play. Your little Phillips head. And what you're going to do is, these are your blue wires right here that you want to do. See, you want to free this up. This is your these connectors right here. This is their wire, and then they're coming out of here, and this won't allow you to pull this tray on out until you disconnect all these reds and all these blues. And in order to do that, you just want to follow each wire. You see this red wire here on the top? This is one of them, and what you're going to do is up under here, you're going to take your screwdriver and just shove it in directly as hard as you can up underneath each terminal spot. So you'll push it in and it'll stick. I don't know if I can do that and hold. Hang on a moment. Let me see if you can see this. Push it in, and you can feel it, and your screwdriver will actually stay stabbed in there, and when you do that, you can actually just pull your wire out. See? And you're going to do that for each one of these. And the rectangular or the square holes is where you'll want to put your screwdriver at, right here and here, in order to free these up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now by removing 1, 2, 3 of these, and 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. And I don't know that it really matters about the numbering, but they do have each one of these wires numbered. That's what I was telling you about earlier. I did renumber mine and put them back where they're supposed to go. I'm assuming that's just the, see, they actually number it 1, 2, 3, 4, coming down from the top, going down. So each one of these numbers, 1 corresponds to that one, and 2, and so forth and so on. So yeah, let me go ahead and get these wires undone by doing that same process. Don't be afraid to, some of them you really got to stab that screwdriver in there, but these little small Phillips head bits do great. They hold perfect. I think you could use a flat blade as well, but the Phillips head actually stays stuck in there, which allows you to go back in and put the wires in a lot easier too. So go ahead and remove those, and we'll move on to the next step. Alright, all my wires are loose. I just want to show you something real quick. Like I said before, these are little small transformers that are on the board. So in order to get your wires loose, you actually have to remove them from these. So what you do is just take them, and they're actually just stuck down beside, and typically they pull out a little easier than they are when they're not gummed up. But you're just going to give them a little pull, and you're going to pull them out from around those transformers like that right there to get them out of there. And you'll do that with all 4 of them. So just give them all a little tug. Well, there we go. Just give them all a little tug here. Boom. Number 3. And if you'll look on the board itself, these are actually numbered on the board. So I'm going to show you that next. Alright, see, all those are freed up now. That's out of there. That's actually going to allow this whole assembly to pull all the way out so that you can service the ballast. But if you'll look and see, you can see X1, X2, X3, and X4. And all they did was just slid the wire up beside each one of these transformers. You can see the clean hole right there. And then pulled it up and then routed it over to where they go. So now we're ready to move on. All you're going to do is just pull this whole assembly out and just take it all the way out. And then you're going to lay it face down where you can see the ballast sticking up towards you. So we're going to do that next. Alright, so here it is. Just got off the phone with Trojan, by the way. They're going to give me a quote. Well, actually, I know how much it is. That one circuit board's about $900, so we're going to have to get one. But here's the 2 UV lights right here. If you'll look and see, this will be the time that you're going to need those snap ring pliers, because if you'll roll this thing over, I'm not going to roll it, but you'll look, they've actually got a snap ring here and here that's just helping to keep these wires guided in like a track. And the snap ring actually just wedges between 2 pieces of metal. There's not actually a groove there like there typically would be. But that's what keeps the wires for ballast number 2, clean and running all the way over here. And basically you're just going to have all your connections for here and here for your ballast. And what I like to do is I'll actually take it and I will cut the wires right here close to the ballast as I can on just the first one. And then I'll pull these wires all up out of the way, leave the second one connected, and then what that'll do, I'll go ahead and take the you take this bolt, this nut right here, all the way off, and then you'll back this one off just some, because this is actually slotted. This piece is slotted, so it goes up under there. So once you cut those wires, you can just kind of grab this ballast, pick up on it, and pull it out of the way. And that'll let you have a place to know once you get the new ballast. You'll go ahead, after you do that, you will take it and slide the new ballast up underneath this washer here, and then drop it down over that stud, and then tighten that nut back down. And then that'll have all your new wires for your new ballast sticking out, plus you'll still have your old wires still where they went. And I like to just do one at the time, that way. Well, actually what I do is I go ahead and take off, just say, all the blues, because they don't matter which position you put them in as far as for that ballast. So I'll take out both blues, because blue goes there besides those blues. Beside those blues. And the same thing for the red, because red goes, there's a jumper here, and red goes in with the jumper on each side. So one red is for one ballast, one's for the other. Same as your grounds, your lines, and your neutral. So you can go ahead and pull out everything, because you'll have a color of where the number 2 ballast is already going into the stud or into the block here to kind of tell you where you need to put them back at. So that's where I'm going to go at next. I'm going to go ahead and do what I said. I'm going to take my my cutters, and I'm going to cut these wires right here as close to that ballast as I can, just to leave me some extra wire sticking out. And then I'm going to take the nuts, that nut all the way out, and pull this ballast out. And I think on this one, I'm going to have to probably take this thing and do some cleaning before I can proceed. I can't just leave it like this. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more than what you're going to have to do, hopefully. But I'm going to clean this up as well, and then we'll move on. That way I'm not handling all this nasty funk the whole time. All right, I got that first ballast out. I was just going to kind of give you an idea of what I was talking about. See, I cut those wires loose, and I left that nut on there because once you get ready to put the new one in, you'll just slide it in. You got to raise that washer back up so it lays on top. You'll slide it in and drop it back down over top of that stud. But this is what I did. See, I cut the wires off so that they're still connected where they go. And if you'll look what I was talking about, you can see that number 3 and 4 is actually, see if I can zoom in for you. Number 3 and 4 is actually the wires that I just cut loose, but they're right beside 1 and 2, which is blue. So that's where your blue is going to go. Same thing for your red. You see red is right next to the other red, so you can basically just remove these and just put blue where blue goes, red where red goes, and you've got the same thing for green right here. Follow it. You got the same thing for black and the same thing for white. So again, take your screwdriver just like we talked about before and shove it down in the little rectangular portion right there. Pull your wire out. Same thing, here on all these as well. Shove your screwdriver down in there and pull your wires out. And then you'll get your new ballast. You'll go ahead and put it down in the hole, and then you will route your wires over there. Cut them off as short as you need because you don't need a bunch of wire. You see how much is here compared to what comes on the new ballast. You'll cut them off and land them where they go, and then you'll move on to the next ballast, and then we'll do that together. But again, I got to get this out of here. I don't know how I'm going to do this and make a video because I really need to go ahead and remove this ballast to clean this assembly for you. Maybe I'll just wet the ballast and not worry about it. That's probably what I'll do. So I'll just take this assembly outside, hose it off a little bit, get it kind of clean so we can start putting this together again, and I'll just let all this dry out. It should be good. All right. Well, y'all, I got my new boards in, or replacement board for my Trojan system, and of course, they had to change up. If you'll look and see, I've got a 3000 PTP system. That's what the board was looking like. Well, they have to send you something like this right here. So it looks like this is some kind of a board that can go with all types of different systems. Looking at the instructions here, and it has like right here where you can do your dip switches and stuff for whichever unit you have. So I'm going to follow this real quick and set my dip switches. I've got the 4-lamp PTP, so I'm going to set it as the second option right there. And we're going to see what the next step is in terms of getting this done. And they're talking about these dip switches right here on the board itself. So you see on is to the right and off is to the left. So let me get that set real quick and then read a little bit on the instructions, and maybe I can kind of guide you through how to do this stupid upgrade, because it's just too easy just to send you the normal stuff and just drop in. Alright, so the next step here says identify the existing module control board type, and I've got the one that I just circled. Looks just like it. So it's telling me to go to section 6.3 in the guide here. So work my way over there, I guess, and see what's up. So we're gonna move along. Right here, this is 6.3. This is the next page, basically. So again, sorry about that, I'm dropping my papers. Let me do a little bit of reading here, and I will get back with you as soon as I get this figured out to make it easier for you. Alright, so we're not going to overcomplicate things. Let me just show you what I did here. In the bag that comes with it, they give you those little jumpers that you see in the original setup over there. You've got a couple wire connectors. I don't need any of that. They did give you some extra wire. They gave you a black, a blue, a black, some blue, white, green, and I did use those. I'm going to show you what I did real quick. And it comes with new screws, so just take your board, put your spacers under there, the new screws and spacers that come with it, thankfully, because I lost mine anyways, and actually was 3D printing some new ones, so I'm glad they actually gave it to me. But anyways, just take it and put your spacers under your board. Make sure you keep it off the frame. You're good to go. I went ahead and pulled out the same way we talked about before by sticking a screwdriver in here. I stuck it in there and pulled out the white, the black, and the green, and I fed the new wire that they gave me, and it comes with like a piece of heat shrink around it to kind of protect it from touching the frame. I don't know if you can see that up in there. So make sure you re-slide that over that, and take it and just strip the ends off. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna come from right here on this strip right here, just say the ground. It's always the second one, so the second ground, the second line. It doesn't really matter actually, because these are joined together, but just to keep it clean and simple, do it the same way they had it. And the second neutral, and you'll pull them through, and you're gonna come over here. You're gonna use 1, 3, and 6 for that, because actually the little short piece of ground wire that came off the original board goes in number 5, and it touches under the stud here. And then I've got my original power wire that came in right here, actually connected up, hooked onto the ground lug right now. And what I know, I haven't done it yet, but what I'm going to be doing now is tying in my incoming power to the L here, and then my neutral to the one beside the neutral. So that's what you'll have. So basically, you've got the only thing, 3 wires you got to worry about on your actual plug that comes from your wall receptacle is you'll be going from 2, which is black, 4, which is white, and the ground lug that you have right here connected up. Try not to make this complicated. I may have to draw this out for y'all, but it's not that bad really. It's really not that bad. And then, like I said before, coming from this piece here, you're going to be using numbers 1, and they got it labeled. If you see the word line, that means black. If you see N right there, neutral, that means white, and then E ground, you got green. So they're using 1, 3, and 6 is what they're using. And anyways, I'm going to wire those up, and then we're going to proceed with replacing the ballast. We're not even going to worry about replacing these terminals here, because I'm just going to keep them the same way they were. And the only thing that I've noticed different that's going to really kind of suck is on top of the UV lights, you have these lamp lights that tell you if the lights are lit up. And if you look here, those aren't here anymore, so I'll be losing that apparently. That's kind of stupid, but see here on your old board, you had these 4 LEDs right here, but apparently you won't have that anymore. So, and I looked to see if they even lined up with each other by lining the screws up here, and they don't. So there's no way to get any kind of lighting. So anyways, you lose that. So really a downgrade to a $900 and something board. I don't really understand why they did that, but everything else is going to be the same. This is your transformers that were on the original board that we talked about before, where you pulled your wires out of, the old rusty ones, and they're just going to be a lot easier to pull your wires through now. You'll be, pulling your wire through and going over here in the end, but that's getting ahead of things. So for now, like I said, I'm going to connect my black, my white back up, and then we're going to proceed with replacing the first transformer. This is the wires I had cut in the earlier video, so I would know where to land my wires at, and then we'll do number 2, and we should be ready to start putting it all back together. Alright, so we got the first one installed. All we had to do is just pick it up at an angle, put it up underneath that little washer there, drop it in the socket right there, and here's the wires that come off of it. We've got them all right here. So what we're going to do is just start color coordinating. We're going to put the red that off of this one to where this one goes, the blue to that one, the blue to that one, and green, white, and black. And I'm going to do that real quick and I will come back to you and we'll begin removing the second ballast. Alright, so I've got it all wired up. Just going over to the proper terminals here and here. Just cut your wires off, whatever length you need to where you don't have a bunch of it left over in here. You just want to have it where it's kind of, not sticking up real high. But next, what you want to do is, I just take these wires and just cut them off flush right there. It's just easier. Flip this whole assembly over, and you will take your Allen wrench and you will grab a hold of these little holes right here. Squeeze that bad boy, pick it up out of there. Do the same thing over here. If you can, it ain't too corroded up. And same thing, get it out of there. And you just hold on to those for later. and that's going to free these wires up so you can go do the same thing. See, the reason I like to cut them things is it's just easier to deal with, but you can also see now, I can tell where all this needs to be hooked. But it's pretty much self-explanatory. Now you'll have blues next to blues, reds next to reds. You'll have greens and whites and blacks all together. And remember to keep this jumper in here. So other than that, you're good. So I'm going to work on the next one. Same process as before. Take this nut loose, back that one off, slide this thing out of here, slide the other one up underneath it, drop it, tighten it down, run your wires, and then we're going to put these snap rings back in. I'll be back. Alright, here it is, all done. We got this pretty and going up over here. See how I've got those snap rings holding it in, coming straight across here, jumping down and going over to its connectors. Just kind of fold everything over as tight as you can here, and pretty much we're done with this section until we get ready to slide it all back together, in which case we will then be feeding through these little transformers here. So what we're going to work on next is taking the actual rubber ends out and replacing them, because they are in horrible shape. So basically all you do with those is you pull them out. They're literally just stuck into the holes just by, like, they're just rubber and they kind of snap in. But what you're going to want to do is take a soldering iron, and you're going to want to solder your wires to your new ones onto the ends of these. So you're going to pull, you're going to have a red and a blue for each one, and you're going to see which ones are moving. And then you're going to, which number one, I'll just go ahead and tell you, is the top one, 2 is second, 3 bottom, or next to bottom, and then 4 is bottom. And they have numbers on the wires, but the red wires aren't actually numbered most of the time. So anyways, you'll want to go ahead and solder your new end onto it, and then you'll pull it backwards basically, so that you're able to feed the wire through. So we're going to work on that step next. I'm going to get everything loaded up over here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So y'all, here's what I like to do. Get an old ugly chair, put that thing up on there, and let it hang off the side. I'm right-handed, so I prefer to work off this side like this, but basically what you're going to do here is, sometimes it's easy and sometimes not so much. I'm going to prop my phone up here and see if you can kind of see what's happening. I don't know if I can do this or not. But you're going to take your channel locks here. Come on. Maybe that'll stay propped up for you guys enough. Probably when I start pulling, it's going to change. You're going to take your channel locks here. You're going to bite down on these things as hard as you can. Kind of just squeeze with all your might. Oh, there's an O-ring on that one still. Take it and, like I said, just take it, go in as far as you can, squeeze that sucker, squeeze, 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 and then try to wiggle it out of there. Just pull on it and everything else. Now you'll see they're going to start falling apart because they're burnt. If they're not burnt, they're easy to get out, but these burnt ones are hard. So what you have to do then, a lot of times, is just take you a flathead screwdriver and just beat it in there. Just beat it and keep prying, and just keep prying all the way around, and it eventually will come out of there. I wish I had a way to prop you up on something so you can see what I'm talking about, actually doing one. See if I can figure this out. I don't know if I can do it without turning the angle of the phone. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me see if this will work. Don't y'all love my ghetto videos? I know y'all do. Let's see if this will work. Maybe too far. I can't even tell if you're looking at it. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So, this is what I'm talking about. We're going to work on one together. This is that first one up here. It's a royal pain in the butt. Just take it, kind of pull on it, grab it all kind of different directions, whatever you got to do. And once you get a good bite on a good one, you can actually take your channel locks and kind of roll them. But that's not going to be the case with this one. So we're going to have to do a lot of beating and prying and that type of stuff. Which is fine. Don't worry about messing nothing up. You're going to be getting rid of all this crap anyway. So just put your screwdriver in there, keep prying. Then put it in on this side, pry on it. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Pry, pry, pry. Put it all different sides. There we go. And you'll see this one's already coming out, and we'll show you what these things look like. And there we go. just kind of pry on it as much as you can, and you'll see. Let me get my phone up now. So this is what they look like, and there's the wire actually hanging off the back side. If you pull on this, you can actually see, I don't know if I can do it at the same time, but you'll see some of the wires will begin to move. It should be the one that's labeled number 1, and also one of the reds. What I've noticed though is that if you start from the bottom, it's best to go ahead and just break them all free first, and then start pulling the wires. They move a lot easier, because right now they're all kind of bound up in here because they're locked onto here. So just go ahead and get them all out first, and then start pulling, and you'll see. And then we're going to move to the next step. I'm just going to go ahead and get the rest of these out. No sense in you watching that. And once I get them all loose, I'll show you what I'm talking about. One more quick thing here. You see I've got that one out. See how this one's just falling all to pieces? Don't get discouraged with it. Just keep shoving that screwdriver in there and beating it around and prying, and it eventually will come out of there. Just don't worry about it. It's very aggravating though. You see how rotten they are? But just keep working on it, and you will get it. So if you run into that situation, don't panic. You're good, I promise. All right, y'all, this has been a real interesting one to work on, I'm telling you. But anyways, I got them all 4 out. That one right there, it actually broke off way up in here, and my wire actually went back in the tubing. So I just took a flashlight and shined up in there. You want that wire, you don't want that to happen. So I took a flashlight, shined in there, and took my needle nose pliers and reached in there and grabbed it and pulled the wire ever so slightly back out. So you're gonna need that for the next step. But I guess now let me see if I can prop you up and show you again. I'm sure you can tell what I'm doing here, but we'll see. Let's see here. Whoops. Alright, so basically what we're going to be doing is taking this wire here, this number 4, pull on it a little bit. You'll come over here to your blue wires. You'll figure out which ones are number 4 for your blue and for your red. They're numbered, so you're good to go when it comes to that. But you'll kind of want to pull on it and see which red wire moves. So just kind of give it a little tug. Just keep your eyes on it here. So I see that it's this red wire right here. So what I like to do then is take a marker, and I'll put 4 black dots on that wire. That way I know that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And usually I'll do the same thing for the blue wire itself, just because it has a number on it, but just in case something happens. So we got 4 black dots on that section of wires. Alright, that's number 4. Then we're going to move on to this one here, which would be number 3, which we already have a number on our label up there. So we're just going to worry about pulling the red wire here to figure out which one it is. We're going to pull this red wire here, and that would be this one right here. So you get what I'm doing here. You'll basically take a marker, 1, 2, 3. I'm doing that because remember you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm doing that, and then I will find my number 3 blue wire here. That's number 2, so number 3 is right here. Right here. Again, just do this just in case your numbers tear off or something crazy. 1, 2, 3. 3 little black dots. Same thing for number 2 here. We're going to move up. We know it's not going to be this wire or this wire, so we've only got 2 wires to watch now. So we only got to watch. Let's see which one it is. It is going to be a booger. We had to pull just the red. Okay, that's this one right here. So again, we'll take it and we'll number that 1, 2. Alright, now we'll find our number 2 blue wire here. Let's say 1, 2. Make sure your lines show up good. And obviously whichever wire's left, which would be where's she at? She's right here. This will be your number 1. And your number 1 blue wire is right here. Alright, so now what you want to do is you want to come over here. Let me go grab one real quick and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Pretty obvious. You're going to take your plug wire right here. See, it's got your 2 wires coming off of it. Well, what you want to do is cut the plug off right here and you're going to solder the bare end here to here, so that what you can do then eventually is pull this back up through here, and that'll pull your socket through the hole. So you're basically going to be pulling this wire like this, which is then going to pull your socket, you see, back up into the hole. That way you got to try to fight to go through this pipe and come out of these holes. So I suggest soldering. You can try wire nutting it, or I mean not wire nutting it, but butt splicing it if you want to, if you're not comfortable with soldering. But soldering is actually very simple, especially when it comes to this. You don't even have to worry about heat shrinking it. Just take your strippers here and just, I think number 16 I believe is what this is, 16 gauge. Yeah, just strip it off at 16 gauge. Come up here, strip the same thing here, twist the two wires, like separate these wires a little bit, and then twist them together, and then just take you just a dab of flux. This is the flux I like to use here, and just start heating. I just use a small torch, actually, one of those you get at a convenience store. I've got this one right here, as a matter of fact. You can use a soldering iron, but I use a torch. It's much faster. Just keep one of these little torches. You're going to heat the two wires that are twisted together that have flux on them, and as the flux melts, you're just going to basically just dab this solder right on there, and it'll just suck right into it, and then you're done. You can let go, and you can pull out, pull the wire through, and it'll be a good tight bond. You won't have to worry about it coming loose. This is the solder I use. It's made by Hawk, and it's TE4410 part number. I love this solder. This is the best solder in the world to me. And again, this flux I use is OATEY, O-A-T-E-Y, and it's the H-20. It's number 30130 if you guys want to get it. This is good all around flux and solder for everything. So again, don't worry about heat shrinking or anything like that. There's going to be no power on this. Just solder these two wires together and begin pulling, and you'll do that for each one of these, for the blue and red, until you get them all pulled. And as you pull them out, you need to label the other end of the wire close to the end with however many dots, like 3, 1, 2, 3, or 4. That way you know which number it is here. And after you do that, you're good. So I'm going to do that now, and sorry I'm not going to show you that whole process. I just wanted to explain it to you. And just look up soldering if you're not comfortable with it. But again, I'll be back after I get these pulled. I'll show you all a little trick too. Just take your wire and split it into two. This is stranded wire. So split it into 2 strands and kind of twist it up a little bit, and do the same on that one. And then when you get ready to solder, you just kind of, when you get ready to get these ready for soldering, you just do it like that and kind of twist your wires together. Let me do that for a second. I'll lay the phone down for just a moment. Maybe you can see what I'm doing here. But you'll take these 2 wires here, and you'll just take them and just twist them all up. It don't matter if the wire gets on top of the jacketing and all that good stuff. Just twist it up like that right there. And you'll see that you'll get a tight little bind, and you can then take your flux here and just, let me open it up here and show you what I'm talking about. Just take a good bit on your finger there and just rub it all over each little connection point like that right there. Get it all in there real good. Solder loves flux, so as long as you flux this stuff up real good, you'll be good. And another positive thing about doing it this way is the wire on the new ends is aluminum, and the wire on the old ends is copper. And flux or solder itself really likes copper versus aluminum. So doing it this way will allow you to get a better bond, because it's going to bond to that aluminum wire that's twisted up with it. But just wanted to show you that little trick there real quick. So I like to go ahead and prep all of them, get them all laid out. They're all stretched out on the floor over here, and go ahead and solder them, and then we'll start pulling them. So I won't show you that step, which I guess I can kind of show you that. If I can prop my phone up, I'll show you that step next. But I'm going to go ahead and get these soldered up right quick like. Alright, here we go. So I've got them all soldered up, and yeah, I've got a finger blister, so y'all just ignore it. But anyways, I'm going to find number 4 blue, and I'm finding number 4 red, which are these 2 right here. And I'm going to begin to pull them, and you'll see the 2 wires going in there like that. You can kind of help it get past that solder joint. You'll want to go ahead and just pull, and just keep pulling. Pull, pull, pull. Let's see. There's my solder joint right here. This is why I said you want to solder, because that stuff will come loose pretty easily. Just keep pulling slightly. You can see that the end is now coming up. And if you need to pull one any more than the other, this will be the time to do it. So I'll just leave that kind of hanging out right there for right now. And then we will move to number 3, which is this one and this one. See how labeling them made it a lot easier? But we will take 3 and we will begin to pull. And you'll see they go inside, get it past that little solder spot right there, and just slightly pull them. And here they go. I'm already to the fresh new wire. The end is now coming up the cord, and you would know it, I had one of these wrapped inside of it, so let me get that out of there real quick. Like, it's one of the new ends. I had it fed through, going through the new plug. Can't do that too much, can we? Alright, so now like this. Sometimes you do stupid stuff as humans, you know. Actually, I just don't have anywhere to work with, so I just have to kind of do the best I can in this area. Well, I'm confusing myself here. Hold on a moment. Alright, there we go. Alright, we're free now. So, I gotta find the darn wire again. It must be, is it this two right here? Yeah, it's these two. Pull them. Kind of get it, you know, in there a little bit. Leave that strung out. You can go ahead if you want to go ahead and push them in, but I like to wait and go back and do it. And go to number 2 now. And number 2, same thing. Kind of get them where they're not interfering with anything else. Pull. Feed that blue in there. You can just give it a little bit of a snatch right here. Get it pulled on in. We'll go ahead and do number 1 all the way in. We'll do it like that. And there's that. Alright, so we'll go ahead and work number 1 all the way in the hole. Give it a little pull. Like that. You can see how this would be a booger if you didn't pull these like this. I don't even know how you'd even do it. I mean, you could do it, but it would be a nightmare. You'd have to have needle nose pliers and all types of stuff. But so we're going to just continue to pull this up, just like this right here. And I like it, the way they had it from the factory was the rectangle goes up and down. So just take it, leave the rectangle up and down, take your finger, mash it in like that, and then just give it a good mash with your hand, and it goes all the way flush, just like that. You'll do the same thing for all 4 of them. These wires are still labeled right now because they've got the black marks on the end. When I go to get ready to shorten this up, I'll relabel these wires again. This is where you can reuse these type wire labels if you want to, or you can just do dots, which I'm just going to do the dots. So I'll move on. I'll go ahead and get these pulled, and then I'll come up to the next section of the video, and we'll try to get this thing wrapped up. Alright, so I'm going to try to get you at a better angle here now where you can kind of see what's going on. I've got all the wires pulled like we said we were going to do. I have dots on the end of them. I went ahead and cut where the solder joints were and just left all the fresh wire here. So now what you want to do is you want to grab your tray that you fixed already. This tray here. And you want to go ahead and begin sliding it in. The wire goes up underneath the tray. You see how there's a dip in here? I messed myself up the first time I did when I tried to run it in the tray, but it goes under the tray. So you just simply take the tray and get it started. Try to keep your wire out of the way. Kind of a booger to get started on your own. Hang on a minute. Actually, my little thingy-maduchy there had went out further, so it was touching the wall of it. But yeah, just take your stuff here. You gotta put it in the hole, you know. But I'm not the best in the world at this. For some god-awful reason right now, it ain't wanting to cooperate with me. Oh, I see. I've got the nut sticking out too far on the back of mine, so I've got to readjust that right now. I was going to edit that part, but I'm not going to. That way you can see real life mistakes. But yeah, that nut had come out the back side the bolt had anyways. So I had to tighten it up some or bring it back out. But yeah, here's your wire. Just keep your wire right here, and you'll want to kind of, you know, feed the whole assembly in. See how your wire stays in one spot. So, in a perfect world, how your wire stays in one spot when it doesn't get caught on something. But yeah, just continue to feed all the way. Drop this wire here, and then you'll get to the point right here where you can now begin rewiring the whole assembly like we had in the beginning. So pick it up, move it over where the weight's not off of it or not on it, and there we go. So now, yeah, I'm sorry, you have to pull it out just a little bit so you can get to this. I don't think you have to have this one anymore, but you have to have this one. So just leave it where you can access this and these, and basically we're going to be landing all of our red wires, one up here and one here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So we're going to be taking, we have 4 red wires now coming out and 4 blue wires. Remember how we labeled the wires, how we have dots on it, like this is number 4. What I'll be doing, you see how this board has lamp 1, lamp 2, lamp 3, lamp 4. Basically what you're gonna do, like this is lamp 4. Let me just take a strand where it's not all tangled up real quick and find a good one. Let's see. Preferably would be number 4. That's number 1. Either way, you take number 1 and you're gonna run it through the hole here, and it's gonna come back around. You can go up under there if you want to, whatever you got to do. But the point is to go through the hole and then come back up into the number 1 slot. It's going to go like that. And then 2, 3, and 4 the same way. And then your red wires, it doesn't matter where they go. They didn't even have to be numbered. They all are common. But, you know, since we have them labeled and everything, yeah, just don't worry about that. Just put your red, one goes up in here, in this hole right here, like the last hole. And then one goes here, and one goes here, and one goes here. And then once you get that done, you'll be done. So I'll take a moment. Let me see if I can see, you don't need that much wire, so I can't really do this and hold the phone at the same time. So you'll want to trim off and remark your wires as you go. So I'm going to do that now. You see what I'm talking about though. So I'm just going to shorten my wires up. Basically I'm going to pull them like this right here until I get it where I like it, you know, to where it's a good comfortable lay. And then I'm going to come back in and go into number 1, and I'm going to do 2, 3, and 4 the same way. I'm going to cut them off, and I'm going to recolor somewhere on this wire like number 1, 2, 3, 4 dots, and that way I'll know what's what. So when I get that done, I'll come back to you and I'll show you. After that, pretty much all we got to do is put the end caps back on with the new gaskets and the new plastic pieces I bought, and we should have this one done other than putting the actual UV lights in. And I think you probably know how to do that part already. So if not, I mean, I guess I could add that to part of the video if I need to, or do another one. Alright, let me get this done and I'll come back and I'll show you what I did. Before I get this done, I want to tell you about a mistake I made before, that I probably needed to go ahead and tell you before this stage. Hopefully you hadn't done it already. But before, when I did this the very first time, I actually just kind of ran the wires and, you know, did exactly what I needed, and I cut it too short basically, because this assembly is going to go in, and you got to think this board's here and it's going to go on up into, you know, up into here. And what that does is pulls on that connection right there, and I ran out of room to do it before. So what we're going to do is a good thing. I would say we're just going to leave a little bit of a drop, you know, here, and we're going to pull this wire back all the way to where it comes in at, about right there. I think is where I'm going to cut this thing at. And then I know that's going to be a big loop, but all that's going to go up in that hole in there anyway, so you're not going to have to worry about it. And so we're going to do that now. That's what I'm going to work on, and then I'll come back with you. This is what I've done right here, if you just want to check it out. Kind of pulled me and left me a good loop hanging down, went through and pulled it out of each one, and left each one a little bit longer, leaving number 4 a little bit longer because it'll be the furthest away. And basically I took all the reds and kind of followed the same loop and just chop them off about the same length. So they're hanging down pretty much, you see, right about maybe 2 inches past the end right here. And we're gonna see how that works out, and I'll let you know. All right, so that's what we ended up looking like right there. I don't know if you can see the how the wires are, but again, the blue wires are coming in, going over, and get them back around. You can tuck them up under each one of these if you want to, whatever you need to do to make it pretty. So we're gonna try to shove all this in there. Again, I don't know if it's gonna be the right length of the wiring and all, or if it isn't. We're just gonna kind of bunch it up like that, start feeding it in, kind of work it, past everything. Be real careful not to cut any wires or anything like that. Make sure, see if we're caught on anything in here. Shouldn't be. Let's see. Oh. You have to be careful, it tries to bunch up on you. So just go ahead and kind of feed your wire in there. Like that. Tuck it on in. This is so aggravating. There's probably a better way of doing it, y'all. You can figure it out. By all means, go for it. Matter of fact, I know what it is. That red wire has to go in past the assembly first. So you want to get it started first. Then you want to start tucking the blue. Kind of a dumb design, really. Because of catching all your wire. Because if you look down in there, you'll see that it kind of just rolls up on itself. It will go though. Usually it goes better than that. I'm not sure what's going on here. Tell you what, we'll do something different. Let's go ahead and take it and let's poke the wire up from the top. How about that? Trying to figure out a way to make it easier on y'all, and I think I'm making it harder than it has to be, really, but it's okay. So let's kind of make the wire go up higher. Let's try that out. I can see the ballast wire in there. Tell you what. Oh, now it's this. That wire was getting under the board. You just have to kind of work with it, play with it. See this wire here is now on this side of the board. Got to stay, all the wiring has to stay on the right side of the board or it isn't going. There we go. Same situation happened here. I've got the nut sticking out too far. Just brush it out like that. And you can see, when you look on the inside, when you push it, you can see where it used to be at. The little point that stabbed in the aluminum. You want to kind of put it back there again. And run your little pointy thing up against the hole. I'll come and show you. And don't forget your silica gel. Take it and just stick it in the side of it. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here now. Oh, don't nobody need to see me today. This is what I'm talking about. There was a little hole right in there that the point was stuck on. That's what you want to do, and just stick your silica gel. You just want to make sure when you're feeding the wiring, just try to push most of it on up in the top. It goes better if you push it in the top way. And then you'll want to make sure that all the wiring stays on the right side of the board instead of going to the left, because that's what was causing my issue just then. Other than that, you tighten this back down right here, that way, up against that, and you come back and you tighten this nut right here, which tightens onto the grounds this way. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. That's pretty much self-explanatory. I guess we can do it together though. Let's get the wrenches here. So go ahead and grab your 1/4 inch wrench and your, what I said, 11 millimeters, which is probably not 11 millimeters. We'll go ahead and do that first. We'll go ahead and run this nut, push it upwards so that you can run it to where it tightens down on these ground connections. I'm gonna take it and stand it up. I think might make it better. Like hold it up like this, you know, and then I'm gonna tighten it down. Can I do that with holding the phone? I don't think so. So just give me a moment. Let me lay you down for just a minute. I apologize, y'all. Give me a second while you look at this beautiful desk area right here. I'm just holding this wire up with my fingers here, and I'm going to tighten down the nut so that it's actually standing up and kind of out of the way instead of coming out towards the end assembly, because you're going to need this little extra room here in a little bit. Give me just a minute. Sorry, y'all. I don't really like having to lay you down like that, but that's all I did though. I just tightened it, kind of flipped the wire over that way, and then you'll take your 1/4-inch wrench here and you'll be taking it and taking this way. But see, that's another thing. I'm going to have to hold this nut while I push this one upwards. I got to hold that one steady, so I can't do that again while holding the thing. So let's just do it like this. Let's just see if we can do it like this without dropping the phone on the ground. If I can get the wrench on the bolt. There we go. There we go. See, we'll take this and turn this to the right just enough to dig it into the aluminum. You don't have to go crazy with it. And then pull up on this left one to tighten down that ground. Make sure that's good and tight. And it is, so that's what you end up with right there. Everything's tight, and then we're going to go to the other side. Y'all like these realistic videos where everything doesn't just go perfect every time? It's great, isn't it? Alright, so here we are. That should be about where it used to be. Just take this and turn it to the right to push it to the wall. The little pointy thingy here. You just want to stab that into that hole. See, it's not exactly where it was, but it's close enough. Then you're going to take this nut and drive it that way. And again, you'll want to take your wrench and hold this one while you push up on that one to tighten it. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'll start with the video with the next step. You know, y'all, that's what's bad about all the Facebook marketplace and this stuff. I used to have a vlog camera, like a Sony ZV-1, and I traded it off because I traded everything I got, and they ended up making it where now I'm having to use some ghetto stuff like this, leaning a phone up against a box and things like that. What we're going to do now is put the end cap back on, but what I want to do is I actually told them to go ahead and send me the new gasket and the new squares. Since this one leaked so bad, I felt like that was probably something that needed to be done, so I'm going to get that out of the box now. So here we go. We've got, comes in a pack of 10, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Can't tear this with these gloves. There's just a regular O-ring. And then, so it could just put it all in a Ziploc. Would have been nice, wouldn't it? But you got that. So we're just gonna pull all this off the end of the cord. I say we are. We'll see. Yeah. All right. Just keep it in the right order. You got the O-ring goes first, and then you got the square gasket with the taper. It's got a taper to it. I don't know if you can see that taper. The taper goes inward. It matches on the O-ring. And then you have this piece here, and the wings come out towards you, like that. Take it, slide it all the way up the assembly. Throw your old junk on the ground. Don't need it anymore. Okay. Here's the, we still got the 2 bolts in it left from earlier. I'm going to take those out. take these wires and stick them up in here, and basically just mash the flat piece up in here with an O-ring around the square. It's amazing how they make a round O-ring fit a square opening. Just go ahead and put the O-ring on first, I guess. Probably would have been better to put a little bit of lubrication on there. Yeah, it's gonna fight me. You can take, I've done it before, this is kind of what you have to have these little screws for. You can put a screw in here in these holes and use it to kind of help you hold this assembly, because it tries to mash the whole assembly in. It's a really poor design, and they actually sell an upgraded model of it. And I was gonna buy one, but then they told me it was like was it $2,000 or something crazy or something. I said, nah, I'm not worried about that. We're just gonna go back with the old model, same way it was before. We basically need a screwdriver or something to kind of feed this O-ring in the hole, make it stay. Again, you're putting a round O-ring on a piece of square metal, and I've never used a new O-ring before. I just reused the old ones, which was probably not recommended. So the old ones go on a lot easier because they're already pre-shaped, but you can see here I'm just kind of mashing it in with a screwdriver, trying not to cut it. If you cut it, you'll start all over again, you know that. And then just work your way in. Got it so far. Two corners, I got the bottom in. Seems like the bottom sides are the worst. So work it back up like this, back up on this side. Yes, like that. And then take it, shove it in. Alright, there we go. Get your glove back out. Let me show you. No, that's what you were propped up on. That's what we end up with, is a now square O-ring that was a circle. And basically you can take this back out for now. Like I said, just use these to kind of pull on that assembly. The other side is actually where it becomes even worse, because there's at least some wires back here to keep this from going in so far. On the other end, it tries to fight you the whole time by going really far in, so you're going to have to use those bolts to kind of pull against it to put this O-ring and stuff on. And I doubt very seriously I record that. I'm just going to do this one side to show you kind of how this goes, and we're going to call this a wrap, I think. And I'll show you the finished product. But put that O-ring on, and then slide this this gasket, this plastic piece back up against it like that. And then you're going to want to bring the next piece up, and you see the Allen wrench up underneath the thing. You can tell that's for that cutout right there, like that. It's going to be just like that. That's when you can take these bolts back that you had, and you can start them. Don't worry about the little black plastic piece flipping out to the side and all right now. Just get your bolts just started so that you don't lose this whole assembly in there. I'm going to tell you one more little trick, and then I'm going to be ending this up. Just give me this and find my bolt. Lord, this is so hard to do, y'all, holding the phone. Like, almost impossible to do, to be honest with you. You see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to hit those bolt holes in the background back there, but I can't do it while holding the phone, so just give me a moment. Alright, so that's what you end up with right there. What the trick was just barely do these down to where they're just, you know, just touching this. And then you want to take your hand, or either a, it's easier to get like a little small little hammer or something. Like I've got this little tiny hammer here. But you see how that's gapped out right there? Just go ahead and take it and bolt this whole assembly into where you want it to be at, so that that seals up really well. I didn't do this on the first one I did, and I actually stripped out these bolts. There was a torque rating on the inside. I can't remember what it said. I don't go by that. I should, but I don't. If you want to rewind the video and look back, it was right on the inside of this right here. It tells you not to over torque. But what I do is just do that, And I've got my little tool here, my little automatic impact driver, which is, it is much too strong. So what I just usually do is just take it and just run it till it clicks about 2 times, and then that's good for me. See, like that. Because with me knocking them in, with me knocking it in like that, I know it's already sealed up real good. And yeah, that's all you do. And then take your little piece here on the end of your wire and just slide it all the way back up and connect it back up on there. And then again, you do the same thing for the other side that you did right here. And once you get that done, you will have successfully completed the installation of now what I thought was just going to be ballast, of a brand new replacement board for my particular system, which was again the, where's it at? I had the 3000 PTP, so the Trojan UV 3000 PTP. And I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Again, all I gotta do is put that end on, and then we can put our bulbs in. But that's a whole complete rebuild of that entire assembly. Again, you won't have your lamp lights anymore, but that's okay. We're not gonna worry about that. You can always look through the water and see if they're lit up anyways. But I appreciate you guys watching this video. I'm sorry that it was so long, and I'm sorry that I made mistakes and all that kind of stuff, but I do believe in real life videos instead of making everything look like it's all glory, you know, because it's never not that way. So I mean, it's never that way. But anyways, again, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully it helps you. I hope blah blah blah. I'm getting tongue tied. Hopefully it helps you, and I hope that this makes your life easier. All right, y'all take care.